The question is this the same shirt from last week? I guess we'll never know. World news. Through the fire, from Bay Street to the mall, the island was flammable, no smoke alarm installed. Through the fire. In an explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, Meghan Markle Windsor revealed that life as a royal is different than I think what people imagine it to be. There are no singing animals and way less dance numbers. And don't get us started on the mice in the palace. They're just regular mice. They don't sew or anything. The former actress revealed in the interview that she finds it liberating having the freedom to choose when to speak, since she and her husband resigned from the position of senior working royals. Who would have thought that a 1,200-year-old tradition might be a little archaic, restrictive, confining? I know what you're saying, but Shin, isn't the queen still the executive over your little island? How can you speak so ill of the monarchy and royalty? Because this is the Bahamas. And on this side of the world, we choose our queens. Beyonce, Serena, Bodine, Wendy, and my fiance, Rihanna. It's on this side? It's on this side. It's on this side. Okay. Rihanna. The American White House is concerned about the hacking of Microsoft's email servers, an incident that the company has blamed on China. If they had gotten an Apple computer, this never would have happened, because they would have already screwed themselves over by getting a Mac. Amanda Gorman, less than 2 months after her earth and ceiling-shattering recital at the presidential inauguration, was stopped on her walk home by a security who told her she looked suspicious. I understand. He wasn't used to seeing so much greatness in one place, and he probably got confused. I mean, how could a black girl shine so bright? My guess is that she stays hydrated and moisturizes her skin with shea butter. Maybe she is suspicious. Or maybe it's black excellence. Maybe it's Maybelline. Finally, the world's first space hotel will open in 2027 and accommodate 280 guests. It also promises to have as much atmosphere as downtown New Providence. So no atmosphere, because it's in space. Space don't have, there's no atmosphere in space. Local news. This week, Member of Parliament AM 1540, the hometown boy, Picewell Spicy Picey Forbes, announced that he would not be seeking re-election in his constituency of Mangrove Key and South and Central Andros. Oh no! What will they do now that he is no longer their MP? Probably the same thing they've been doing for the past 13 years. So, while in the House of Assembly, Forbes gave a surprising exit speech, including a message to his haters. I did not get everything right. There were some missteps, but I am an imperfect child of God. To which his detractors responds, yeah, we've been saying that you're a failure. When pressed for a reason as to why he felt the need to pull out of the elections, Forbes stated that he didn't feel supported by the party leadership. I guess now he knows that the people of Mangrove Key and South and Central Andros feel about him. The owners of Chubb's Kitchen, a restaurant and lounge in Abaco, have been ticketed $30,500 for breaching the COVID-19 emergency orders. The establishment is allowed to have 24 persons inside, and they had 100. I know, that sounds like a crazy number, but that's because you've never had their chicken. If you had their chicken, you'd understand why everybody was willing to risk their life for the chicken. We can confirm from sources within the police force that they are being fined $30,500 or 6 pounds of their tamarind glazed wings. If you had their chicken, the vaccine that was supposed to be available last week will arrive in the country this week. This week? For sure. Okay. This week, okay, all right. The vaccine's late arrival has to do with logistical issues with the airline in India. Bahamas Air in India now. See, I didn't know that. Okay, now I understand. And on Wednesday, a 35-year-old man was arrested by police for possessing what they believed were pot brownies. The question is, were they sure they were? I mean, maybe he's just a good baker and his brownies are like so good, they give you a weird euphoric feeling. Think about all of the innocent culinarians who have been falsely accused of being drug lords. Renowned pastry chef Pablo Escobar, confectioner Walter White, soul food and chocolatier expert Frank. This has to stop, guys. This has to stop. The officers found suspected marijuana brownies, suspected marijuana gummies, and suspected hemp oil. So this dude would have brownies, gummy bears, and a vial of oil, and you assume that he's like a drug dealer. Maybe he's just pre-diabetic. And now for Prime Minister news. While in Parliament on Monday, Prime Minister Minnis sought to address critics who say it is a shame that there is little female perspective in cabinet. Did he oversell his response? A little bit. Minnis brought up the fact that his profession as a gynecologist was only possible because of women. Wow. What a brave and very obvious thing to say. He also went on to say, my delivery unit director is a female, my communications director is female, the individual in charge of my Bahamas Investment Authority is a female. My wife is a female. The woman who make my sandwich at Wendy's, also a female. Females are everywhere, is, I imagine, the rest of the conversation in his head. The highlight of his comments were when he said, and my greatest dream is to one day see a female prime minister in the Bahamas. I doubt that that is a dream of his, because I mean, he had a chance for there to be a female prime minister, and he maneuvered and connived that away. Unless he's dreaming of a female prime minister in a Medea goes to Parliament sort of way. Perhaps he's giving us insight into what he might wear the next opening of Parliament. I'm sure as soon as Patricia Minnis heard his comments, she ran to her closet to make sure that none of her dresses were missing. No, but seriously, have you seen how bloated the responsibilities of the office of the Prime Minister are? By next week, he probably gonna tell the janitors to tender their resignation because he doesn't trust the job that they're doing. And I supposed to believe he wants a woman to become Prime Minister? I don't think he wants another human to be Prime Minister. This past Friday, the Prime Minister was asked to comment on his detractors who claim that the election might be called prematurely to the expected 2022 date. His response was, I'll tell them to continue to observe, which ironically feels like he's saying, don't watch nothing. Prime Minister Minnis made this comment while in the Berry Islands inspecting the new airport terminal, runway, roadworks, and future site of the refurbished government dock, because apparently he's also a surveyor and architect. Is there any job that he cannot take and put under the office of the Prime Minister? The answer is no. He was also asked about recent comments promising concessions to young persons looking to become first-time homeowners. According to the PM, this drive has nothing to do with the election and everything to do with the party's manifesto. Guys, you know what that means. Don't hold your breath. When you hear politicians talking about their manifesto, that is code word for it will never happen. And it's a bunch of jargon like that, but it all means the same thing. Manifesto, don't hold your breath. Oban, don't hold your breath. It is under investigation. You still holding your breath? The report has and or will be tabled. All right, don't get you none of this sweet oxygen then, since you want to hold your breath, waiting on something that ain't gonna never happen. If you dead, that's on you. That's on you, King. Honestly, by the time they offer these concessions to young people, I am certainly no longer going to be remotely young. And the only person that will probably benefit is his imaginary granddaughter, who I presume is actually just Renwood Wells in a Peppa Pig onesie. Let's be honest. Look at Renwood. Tell me he don't watch Coco Melon with no children in the room. The man has watched Coco Melon by himself. Why? All right. This may or may not work. All right. Through the fire, from Bay Street to the mall, the island was flammable, no smoke alarm installed. Through the fire, from Winton to Life at K. If someone give me a fiberglass boat, I'd take it all the way. But in here I feel like a dryer. Oh, I forget, we still on fire. It's pretty decent. I feel like it's pretty decent. Imagine if I had like keys behind that. Woo! If you like what you see, consider buying me a cup of coffee on Ko-fi. Link in the description. Also, more on Friday for Trudeau.